Wanna quit like a millionaire? I'll help you by summarising the key points from this book that could potentially change and improve your perspective on money and your thoughts about retirement. Firstly, to get rich, it's important often to challenge your perception on money. And you may well possess this scarcity mindset. That's when you think you don't have enough money. And when you've got that mindset, you will believe, because it perhaps will be, that money is the most important thing in the world and that you'd sacrifice everything, even bleed for money. Hopefully you haven't learnt that the hard way, because that'll mean that you're in poverty at the moment. But poverty can potentially teach 4 vital skills. And these are creativity, resilience, adaptability, and perseverance. And there's an acronym you can remember, CRAP, because that's what poverty is. But that could be the foundation of your success and the way of getting out of this. Potentially, the scarcity mindset can be used in other ways for great benefit. For example, if you can put that towards time. Now you may think if you're running against the clock, you can then become laser focused, using everything in your brain to accomplish your goals. Now constraints like these can prompt focused action when that time becomes precious. So here's a common question. Should you follow your passion? Well, perhaps, but your passion won't pay your bills. So for example, for me, YouTube is a passion. I've got quite a few passions, but it certainly isn't paying my bills. So you may love what you do, but without financial stability, happiness and a successful career are likely to be elusive. So in essence, what you could do is follow the money first, and then that ensures you have financial security, and after that, have the luxury to follow your passion. So what career should I choose? People will ask. And there's this interesting concept of pay over tuition, POT, a POT score. And it can be useful for potentially working out which career you should do. And the POT score equals the median salary above minimum wage divided by the total cost of a degree. So for example, I'm a doctor, medical practitioner in the UK. Now, I may get paid more than the median salary, but the total cost of the degree in terms of time and rising tuition fees nowadays means that the POT score may be relatively low, and it's only until further down your career that you can then reap any benefit back. Whereas a high number means that you're going to get paid more than the median wage, and you'll also have minimal outgoings on tuition. So a plumber does score very highly there, with relatively small training time and earning a lot. Obviously, don't become a plumber just because of this video, but consider these things. So we're in an unpredictable world, and we no longer can really rely on one job or the government, because they're not really going to help us particularly. So we have to be our own safety net. And that's where financial freedom allows you to thrive. Because you may well start with this scarcity mindset I've mentioned earlier, or an entitlement mindset, which is quite self-explanatory, where you think you're entitled to things that you're really not. But if you can adopt a freedom mindset, where freedom becomes the priority, that will ensure success. So this shift from mindset is possible, and money really shouldn't be the most important thing, but it should allow us to reclaim our time and enjoy the freedom that we all desire. And if retiring early becomes obtainable and our goal, it's really when we can do that and cover our living expenses just from our financial portfolio. Let's talk about spending. It's addictive, right? But did you know our brains reset expectations when it comes to spending money? Because there's 3 types of spending: baseline costs, splurging costs, and unexpected costs. If we can minimize the baseline costs, indulge occasionally in a splurge, then it means that we'll be on our way to some financial success. But if we can reduce the unexpected costs, and in part that's by not buying lots of stuff, because things break. So if you buy less, it'll help us balance our responsibilities and stress having to look after stuff we don't really need or want. That'll reduce unexpected costs. So just having that balance will allow you to gain some happiness and some financial stability. Housing. We all want to own our own house, but it's a significant expense. And there's an interesting concept about the rule of 150 to determine if renting or buying is a smarter choice. Because obviously if you've got a house, you need to pay for maintenance, and this costs a lot of money. So if you can multiply the expected monthly mortgage payment by 150%, then you can evaluate the true costs of home ownership. So basically, if you find that the renting cost, the rule of 150 is higher than a mortgage, you may want to just use, you would want a mortgage. If however you're finding that rent is lower than that 150, then it may be wiser to rent. This is exclusively if you're living in your home. Many people think of the home as an asset, but it's actually a financial liability because you're shelling out cash to keep it and it's not giving you income. So remember, try and make financial decisions based on calculations, not on societal pressure or whims or unnecessary wants. You'll all want to be an investor, and it's a good thing. I mean, personally, I've not got enough money to invest at the moment, but I try and dabble with it. And you may know about an actively managed trust, and these may seem appealing because you've got somebody in a suit telling you that they're going to be looking after you and your money. However, they have extortionate fees, and even if the fees are say 4%, it adds up a lot over time. And it's similar to gambling. In essence, they're betting on which stocks will perform well. Index investing, on the other hand, offers a way to invest in many companies at once. So you'll hear of things like the FTSE 500 or the FTSE 100 or the American one that I can't quite recall that starts with an S and I think ends in 100. Is it the SOP? Who knows? But the fact is, you look at these and that tracks the top 100 or 50 shares, and if something does badly, say Ryanair fall out of it, they're no longer in the top 50, and then your investment, without you having to do anything, is basically following where the money is going. So this modern portfolio theory helps us design a balanced investment portfolio, and then we want to also consider unexpected events that can occur, volatility. In essence, you're wanting to buy low and sell high. And if you can ride out the recessions, often buying things when they're low, a few years later, if you can afford it, then you'll reap the rewards. Taxes. Sorry, a topic we can't avoid, but really just do your best to optimize taxes. It's important to pay taxes, but if you maximize pension contributions and take advantage of tax breaks on dividends, for example, you can actually save a lot of money. And each country has its own tax system, and it may be you need to seek some accounting advice. But if you can understand the intricacies of the tax system, legally reducing your tax burden, it will increase your wealth. You may have heard of FIRE. This isn't flames. This is the Financial Independence Retire Early movement. This follows a 4% rule. It's when 4% of your portfolio matches your living expenses. And if you can get that amount, then you have a 95% chance of living 30 years without running out of money. So that's really a calculation you can use to get a target portfolio size that could allow you to retire early. The thing is, if you do this, it's a bit disheartening because I'd see I need £1 million or £1.2 million, and I'm not going to get it immediately. However, remember, even if you retire early, you probably are doing this because you're a bit of a hustler and you like doing new things, and probably you'd want to do a day or two's work a week anyway. And if you can do that, it means that you could semi-retire early and keep your budget on track. We all want to travel the world, but is it possible to do that on a budget? Well, absolutely it is, as long as you've got a large portfolio that is helping you travel. However, remember, you can use geographic arbitrage, and that's that there's a difference between higher cost countries and lower cost countries. And in essence, if you can maybe spend 4 months in a country such as Vietnam or Thailand and realize that they're all getting more expensive anyway, versus say 4 months in Sweden, you'd find there's a huge disparity in the amount of money that you'll be spending. Therefore, you could strategically travel the world and, survive, particularly if you can get some remote working in which you're living in a country that's cheap to live, and you can then be earning pounds or US dollars. Finally, let's explore the power of optimization. Now, you'll hear about billionaires, and there's 3 different types of ways to become a millionaire though. Really, there's hustlers, investors, and optimizers. So if you think of a hustler, you'll think of Elon Musk, who's had several different companies and often almost failed but has managed to succeed. I don't know how Twitter or X is going. I suspect that was a bad idea on the surface. X. Anyway, follow me on Twitter or X if you like. Here's my details. Then you've got investors. These are people like Warren Buffett, and they'll be successful if they can target shares that are unique, something like Gillette, Coca-Cola in the early days, and just leave the money in there. However, the majority of millionaires that you'll meet are optimizers. These people meticulously control their spending and their fear of losing money to make financial decisions that are smart and that secure their future. And certainly if you can understand that, it will truly simplify your life. Because when it comes to money, knowledge is power. And by embracing the freedom mindset, optimizing our finances, and taking calculated steps towards financial independence, we can all achieve our dreams. I hope that's helped. Feel free to comment, subscribe. I'll see you next time when I summarize other books.